I was gonna say more like there's something that will help us
that's
with
in
the.
2 weeks. Stay on subject at hand.
I was gonna say about those being off some weeks, but because there's something that will help us. But yeah,
Should I start the show?
Yeah.
Jasper.
Did you actually tranquilize Jasper? Is he down?
He is down.
If I
I
ever
repeat,
told you this is my bestest golden friend in the universe, I just love you so much, I just want to strangle you with my tootsies!
Lord.
Good thing the doses wasn't too strong.
I have to ask what grade tranquilizer it took for that.
I am Bull. This is Purple Dragon. I am Bull. This is Purple Dragon. The Jasper is down. I repeat, the Jasper is down. Move in for the
Red
capture.
5 standing by.
All right. Well, I'm going to start the episode with Red October standing by. Alright, hello everyone. How are all of y'all doing?
Can I be like Spike? Just like.
I mean, you can, but we would appreciate it if you were more lively.
I mean, I think we first have to address the fact that Jasper is turning into a duck making noises.
Now he's Godzilla.
Why is the no capitalized?
Because
anytime there is a word that is not an article or a link, you capitalize it. No is neither an article nor a link, it's a negative connotation. And that's how titles work in writing.
Yay.
In the meantime, welcome to Reviewers Web, guys. Jasper is back, though we are down a Brony Critic, and Shoujo will apparently join us later. I am Fiaura, your host, and today we are here to talk about The Point of No Return, Season 9, Episode 5. And in the meantime, this is an odd number, so we're actually starting at the top. So, Golden Fox, you're up first. Tell us about you and what you do.
Okay, so I'm Golden Fox. I review ponies, I review movies, I do Let's Plays. I've been around since 2011. I feel old as hell. I'm going to go ahead and pass this off to Insane Spyro because this is how intros work.
And I am Insane Spyro, the greatest dragon in all of gaming, reviewer, let's player, game pundit, and the artist of this channel. You did this. All of you last week, you did. Be it on your head, you all did this. On to you, Jasper. They did this, Jasper. When you see it, remember it was them, not me this time. They did this. Take it away, Jasper.
Oh, well, that's always encouraging! Either way, hello! This is the Pizza Pone. I am back after a few weeks of panicking and job hunting and more panicking and people and panicking! Anyway, I make comics, I do fanfic writings, I occasionally do audio edits for TF2, and I currently try to find ways to make money. And also do the comedies and the stuff. Golden tranquilize me!
I quite honestly think Jasper could make it in stand-up. Your turn, Master.
Are you secretly a masochist now?
I am no such thing! I did not mean... Ah, you shut.
You have to censor
when
himself.
did Aeon get in this call?
Master Code, please take it away before we go too far down the rabbit hole.
Yes, before we get too out of line, hello everybody, this is your super awesome ace analyst Master Code, the one who reviews everything ponies from the show to the comics to the books and everything in between. Moon Knight.
Hello, I'm Moon Knight. I review My Little Pony episodes. I do some covers. And well, I review episodes here with this lovely bunch of ponies, dragons, and every creature that it's welcome here. We're not, we're not racist to any creature. But yeah, that's me. So on to Fiaura to start this lovely episode.
Hello everyone, I am Fiaura the Tank Girl. I am the host here, and I try to keep these guys together in order to do this every week, and I fully appreciate their time and effort. In the meantime, we are going to start with our initial thoughts. We have 3 minutes to deliver our initial thoughts. This way nobody's talking over anyone, or no one's taking the entire podcast to just, lay everything out. Hopefully my microphone doesn't die this week. Anyway, go ahead, Golden.
For a second there, I heard someone's phone ring. Before I give my thoughts on the episode itself, am I the only one who thinks that the title of this episode easily reminds me of that Kansas song? I know that the difference in the title is the other no, the I know sort of no, but still, it just reminds me. The Master Code knows what I'm talking about. This episode was. It's not bad, but it's not that great either. It's just a retread of Lesson Zero with a touch of amending fences, to the point where they have Moondancer kind of make a brief appearance, which is nice to have. I would like to see more of that. But for the most part, it's just a same old that I've seen multiple times. An episode about, admitting that you're not perfect. I've seen this done in a good number of other episodes of the show before. I'm not going to bother to name them too much because I don't want to waste too much time here because, we only have 3 minutes. For the most part, it's just a meh episode. It's harmless, and that's really all it is. So, I'm going to go ahead and pass it out to Insane Spyro at this point.
I think my thoughts basically mimic yours. All the way through it, I was just thinking, this is Lesson Zero. She's as we've now canonized, she's now going Twilight Nanas. Except, it was worse. It was more boring. Like, the fact that no magic was used, and I know it's supposed to be slice of life, but the whole twist to this show is, hey, slice of life, but solved in an interesting way. Oh, Twilight's not got a friendship report. She's going to go absolutely crazy and poison everybody with love magic to fall in love with a toy, so that the princess herself has to come down and sort it out. And we've gone from big, grand, crazy way to solve the puzzle to, have you seen this lady? No. Have you seen this lady? No. You could use magic, Twilight. Shh. This is a non-magic episode. Oh, so it's going to be boring then. Although, one thing I will say, though, also, no saffron masala. You had your opportunity, no saffron masala. Very disappointing. One thing I will say, though, is I did like Dusty Pages, as my next-door neighbour is pretty much Dusty Pages. She's 87 years old, and she goes like wing walking and skydiving at 87, so I know what she's on.
That's impressive for that age.
Yeah, she's crazy. She just doesn't care. I mean, I guess that's the best attitude to have, but she'll just be like, oh, how you doing? And it's like, I'm doing all right. And it's like, oh, I've got to go. I've got my skydiving in 2 hours time. And she drives up to the airport. It's like, wow, you're doing that at that age. That's major respect.
It's hilarious that you have those people that are just like, live to your life until you die.
Okay.
I mean, it's pretty impressive.
Anything else you got for us, Spyro?
No, I'll pass it on to Jasper for the quick 3 minutes.
Coolest of deals. Well, I would just first like to say that I really liked this episode. Spike was probably one of Spike's best supporting roles. Dusty Pages is just the best kind of elderly person. And I think there was actually maybe one instance in the episode that I kind of didn't really care for. That stupid librarian with the pointlessly long name for the grossly overdue section. It's like, really? Just really now.
Gotta emphasize the guilt.
You really had to hammer it out there, with the emphasizing how much shame there is in an overdue library book. And I think what I would have done to solve it is just maybe she just says it normal, but then we get like a look inside Twilight's head where she says it like that, kind of like a point of view shot. Shows just how deep circling all this Twilight really is. And I think, actually, this episode kind of struck a raw nerve over me in a good way, because I have a bit of problem with trying to be perfect. So, yeah, hearing Dusty's speech at the end, it kind of hit a nerve, and I don't know, it was not a good time when I saw this episode.
You finished?
Yes, and probably in need of hugs. Master Code, please save me.
Okay, first off. Hugs the Jasper and holds the Jasper while Master Code talks. Go ahead, Master Code.
Point of no return. I thought this was a meh season 2 episode. This just doesn't belong this late in the series. I have no idea what they were thinking. We've already covered episodes about not being flawless, like Fame and Misfortune, even technically Lesson 0, which I will reference, but quickly going back to Lesson 0, comparison to that is it's she's tardy for a friendship report. Here it's for a late book return. For Lesson 0, it was Twilight about self-affirmation, about I gotta do this for me so I can get everything right. For this one, it was I gotta do this right so I can keep my book borrower reward, and I guess I'm kind of helping someone else out as well. But I think one last point on that is Lesson 0 worked because it was a self-contained plot in Ponyville, whereas here it's, hey, let's go here. No, all right, now let's go here. Kind of like what in Saint Spyro, it's like go here. We go here. Oh, hey, look, we found the person. It just jumped all over the place. But I think probably the biggest problem is that other than Spike, who was awesome, I didn't like the way anyone was really written. Even Dusty, which actually I'll get back to that in a second. But the librarian, I hated her. She just comes up and it's like, oh, it's only 28 bits. What? Yeah, I could have told you earlier, relieve all that stress, but I am evil. Moon Dancer, okay, I forgot. Yeah, Moon Dancer was okay. But even Dusty Pages, the first time that they met, I was like, I thought there was going to be like kind of a nice little reunion, but she kind of storms out. It's like, lady, I just traveled all across Equestria and I delivered your freaking mail. You can't even spend 2 minutes of talking. We had a great relationship in the past. You can't even spend a few minutes to talk. I mean, really, I just didn't like the way that anyone was really portrayed. It's just, and they could have gone so much better with it. And I'll probably go into more about the fixes later on, but overall, I just thought this was a very forgettable, way too late episode. So, on to Moon Knight.
I mean, I can kinda see why Jasper likes it. Like I can see some people liking it. I can see some people like me that totally dislike this episode, and I was honestly falling asleep between this episode because the problem is kind of like we've got simple problems solved in interesting ways before. it's on another series. But here it's just like, oh, I have to return a book. Oh no, I'm gonna have to pay a ton of bits. Aren't you a princess that lives in a gem-made castle? Like, don't you have any like? Uh, Second of all, she has a library inside the castle, so I don't even know why she's so like, going Twilight Nanas over something that it's not really the big thing. And Spike is the perfect kind of point of view that we all have in this episode. Like he's just rolling his eyes. He's just he just can't take it anymore with his, and you can see it on his face. He's just like tired of this. Like I get that. Well, kind of canonically, Twilight is his sister or something like that. But wow, does he have to put with all of this? Second of all, yeah, Twilight has to go around looking for Dusty Pages, and then she goes to Silverstream for some reason. Like, first of all, that joke is kind of because Silverstream is not like a place; it's someone. So, what, she lives inside her brain or something like that? That joke kind of just went meh for me. Dusty Pages, I think, is the most interesting character because she's the one that breaks the all and says, "Yeah, I just went off. I just wanted to live my life. I just wanted to be outside of my comfort zone. Not everything has to be perfect." But it's another recycle idea, and yeah, it's kind of like Lesson Zero, but yeah, not that good, honestly. Like as I say, like Lesson Zero, I may be a little bit biased, but Lesson Zero was the first episode I ever saw, and I thought it was kind of crazy. It was okay, but honestly, this one is just he's like Lesson Zero, but just made lazily with a lazy problem that doesn't even. It's not even a real problem because at the end they just pay a small fee, which isn't something. I think I'm running out of time, but yeah, that's those are my general thoughts. I didn't like it.
Well, I'm going to say this. They did a good job with the concept they had. The problem is location. This episode clearly belongs in like season 3 or maybe 5. Back when either Twilight had just become a princess and suddenly had all these new responsibilities and was being reminded to not forget the responsibilities she already had before, or right after the Golden Oaks Library blew up.
It's almost like having different writers makes them recycle the ideas.
It just like I'm now just picturing that one freaking pony from Fame and Misfortune. We want to know why Twilight's learning the same thing over and over again. Be organized already, or be imperfect already.
I mean, it's kind of like what I think I saw your shorts review. Like,
I wasn't.
I get it. Like sometimes they.
However, I understand, having spent a good chunk of my youth in auction houses as a part-time job, why old people work the way that Dusty Pages does. When you get to that age, you generally just, if you see something that disgusts you, you don't deal with it anymore because you feel like you don't have to. You feel like you've earned the privilege to just not talk about it. It's not the best way of dealing with anything in life, but you do generally feel like you've earned that right. What Dusty Pages is doing is expressing that she doesn't feel like she has to talk about the library or why she doesn't work there anymore. And it takes Twilight's determination to let it sink in that while she is old and sunk in the way of, I don't have to deal with this anymore, Twilight does have to deal with it. And they were friends at one point. It's not handled very well, but that's kind of where I can respect that character. I feel like this episode is from like season 4 or 5, and we're in season 9, and this is like one of the final episodes of the show, and I'm just like, did you just write this in a dark room and not tell the person, and not like, the person who wrote this never watched another episode or didn't watch Lesson Zero? This is screaming, been here, done this, have the t-shirt 4 times, We have an entire song called Flawless that's devoted to, complaints of Twilight making the same mistake over and over again. Can we move on? But that's my thoughts. Now, we're going to open the floor, and you guys can focus on any one particular theme or subject you want to talk about. So I see Moon Knight and then Golden. So Moon Knight, you're up first.
Okay, look, I know I can't say any spoilers around here. I know Fiaura, they're gonna kill me, I know Fiaura, but I think not only like the timing of, we've been here with Until, I think even like with the whole season, like last season they did the same thing. Like they were supposed to focus a little bit more on these new characters, the students, because they're different creatures that haven't really been interacting with friendship and whatever ponies can teach them. But here it's just like, where's Grogar? Where's everyone? Like, is Grogar just looking at them and going, "Oh, Twilight needs to return a book. Yes, that's how I'll defeat them. I'll make them fear for late fees." It's like, really, really. Like, I know it's not even the excuse again with the kids show. But if you're trying to do a little bit of, the villains thing, it would be nice to see them in some more episodes and not just putting some fillers like this one.
Golden, what do you got?
I just want to say or mention what was the oh yeah, that one pony who used to live at Dusty Page's residence, and he's all bulky, and he was screaming no solicitations and tell her to change her address. I don't know if this if it's appropriate to say here or not, but good God, he has a serious anger issue. I guess it's safe to say that this is both Biceps' evil stepbrother.
No solicitations.
I mean, yeah, he does look kind of like bulk Biceps, but I was going to say a little bit more like the evil, like kind of Rainbow Dash thingy, because he had those kind of colors of Rainbow Dash dad, so maybe he's somewhat related to her dad. But yeah, Jesus, he reminded me of the pizza guy. Where's my soda? I wanted my soda. It's like, calm down. I'm just here to. Where's my soda? It's like, calm down. We're just here to ask for something. And it's like, why did this character was here? It's sort of random, honestly.
Okay, Master Code, and back to Golden.
I think it was Jasper too.
Okay, so anyway, here's my first question before I get into the other stuff is what librarian would get fired over a single late book? I mean, I've heard stories of people who've made errors at their work that cost companies like thousands of dollars, and they still work there, and yet she gets fired over one $28-bit late fee. Okay.
I want to point out that that's not how libraries actually work. The librarian, so long as they obeyed all the rules, if the person doesn't return the book, the librarian is not held responsible.
Did she get fired though? Like, didn't she say to Twilight that after Twilight didn't return the book, she felt free and she left of her own accord?
Was it? I could have sworn she said. Was it? Didn't they say
No,
she
said
fired?
No, she. Go ahead, Jasper.
that Twilight thought she got fired, and so did the other what's her face lady. But Dusty confirmed that she left on her own.
I want to point out, again, that's not how libraries work. So long as you obeyed the rules, it doesn't matter if the person brings the book back or not. You don't get charged with them not bringing the book back. So you would think Twilight would know that. Anyway, go ahead.
It was.
Yeah. Okay. And then what was it? My other point was, why would Twilight? Okay. Apparently, she never read the book she checked out. Okay, fine. I get that. But why wouldn't she check? Why did she check that book out in the first place? It's like, wouldn't you read the title of what you're checking out? It's like, huh? it's like it says perfection and da 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 da. It's like, what, did you just pick up a random book? That's like me going to the Candlelight Library and I pick out a dozen books and I don't even look at them, and then I go home. It's like, all right, let's see what I did. Let's see, what we got. Let's see. What's this? Sunrise and Aeon do Dallas? Interesting. Anyway, I thought that was.
If it's the Canterlot Library, then it's going to be the Star in yellow, and you're going to have all your powers taken away by Golden Star.
Yeah, it was in the 18 plus section. Anyway, the last thing, I didn't like the way that Twilight was portrayed, because her guilt trip just got so grating. The fact that she's constantly going, "This is all my fault. This is all my fault." Okay, you can do that in the beginning for a little bit, but by the second act, it's like, oh, yes, we get it. We get it. She feels guilty. Can we move on, please? So, and then the way to fix this episode is you can start out as it is, where Twilight's having her usual panic attack. Fine, that's her. Go to the library, find out where she lives. Skip the rigmarole of the whole searching stuff, and then you actually have a meaningful talk between the two, where again she feels guilty, but after she's like, you know what, this is this thing that can happen to me, and then they can start to bond over the experiences. It's not perfect. They share each other's experience, where it's like, oh man, I made this mistake, but hey, I learned a great deal. That way we can learn more about Dusty Pages, and maybe we can learn some interesting experiences, and Twilight can learn from that, and that would have been a much more interesting story other than this. So that's my final thought.
Okay, Golden, did you have another point?
I was actually referring to the other topic before we moved on, but
Go ahead.
yeah, no, I can't really think of anything at the moment.
Okay, I saw Jasper, and then I think I saw Insane.
Going off of what Master Code said earlier about the whole libraries policy, I'm starting to have a rather dark theory about the Canterlot Library. That this whole perfect book borrower thing is actually part of a cult of book borrowers, and if where Dusty Pages was merely a pawn in the organization, and if she did not comply with her perfect record, they would revoke her license and then cut off her elbows.
I mean, yeah, it has to be like a little. There's a cult and something, because like whenever she said something like "you're gonna go to the hallway of shame" or something like that, everyone was like, it's like, really, everyone knows about that, and what happens there? Because actually that place looked a little bit shady, and it looks like there's some big spiders over there.
And also another thing that I noticed that really kind of ticks me off. They're still very vague about how long Twilight's been living in Ponyville. I mean, has it really been 9 years? Has it been more? Has it been less? Throw us a timeline, Bone Man!
They told you it's been many moons.
Exactly.
That is not a satisfying answer, and flop you for going with it.
Well, by season 4, it was about a year, so let's say 2-3 years.
Well, I didn't know that!
I mean, go on.
Nah, I'm done. You go.
I mean, I'll give you credit. You already come up with like a better plot synopsis than what they brought up. Like, I mean, if you look when she's going to the basement of shame, there are like dungeon prison doors, like solid metal doors with the little bars on. So that could be a thing, and would have made for a better episode, because like I get that it's supposed to be slice of life, but they need magic. Like, if you're going to make a show where you have magic, then use it, because the Lesson Zero did it right. So Twilight goes mad, magic is the solution. It doesn't work, but it made what is essentially a boring idea of, oh, you're late on a report, interesting and fun because things were happening. Whereas here, despite us following pretty much a god round that can pull any spell she wants out of her arse because she is, the main character, she's got main character syndrome. It's like, no, just knock on everybody's doors, just go fly from location to location to don't teleport, genuinely fly and waste everybody's time. And I think that's what really lets the episode down, because it's like, we want to ground it in reality as much as possible, where in reality, they should just be like, no, go crazy. The basement of shame, it's literally like the Binding of Isaac basement. You go down there and you just see ponies in prison cells like that haven't been fed because they are shamed. Or, you're trying to return the book and you don't know where she is. You summon a giant evil eye, like Grogar's eye, that can see what everybody's doing at any time. And, well, Twilight's abusing dark magic, so Grogar would know that's how you tie it in. But it's absurd. It's crazy and absurd. So it makes your mundane task of returning a book actually worth watching, like Lesson Zero, rather than, have you seen this person? No. Have you seen this person? No. Have you seen this person? Oh, yes.
No, but would you like to come in for some condensed milk?
Oh, yes, please.
Can I interject here for one very important point?
Sure.
Doesn't she have a giant friendship table that literally has GPS location on it for friendship problems?
But that's what I mean. That's magic. We can't use magic in a show that uses magic.
So if we have yonder table and she finds yonder book, why does this not trigger yonder table?
Because it's magic. We're not allowed. We have grounded ourselves in reality, and it's like this. This is why I have been recently enjoying Star vs. the Forces of Evil, because they don't shy away from that absurdity. It's like, oh, we just need to go to the store. Right, well, Star's going to use her magic wand and absurdity is going to ensue. It's just going to the store, but we've got to go to the store the Muni way with Super Sparkle Narwhal Blast, not just knock on somebody's door. And for a show that's based in a realm of dragons and unicorns and magical creatures, embrace it. You embraced it in Lesson Zero. You embraced it in other slice of life episodes where you use the magic. Like, embrace the magic. Don't try and, like, quell it as much as possible, where we're not going to use the magic table. Twilight is not going to use magic. Use it.
At least they don't have poor CGI wolves. Huh? But honestly, couldn't this task be a little bit more, I don't know, magical, a little bit more, like, yeah, the map could have solved it, like, easily, but then again, there could have been other ways to make it a little bit more, exciting and stuff, because at this point, I think, well, like, last season, it was kind of clear that they were just recycling ideas, because they thought they knew how to write the characters, but they didn't, and continuity is really, like, a big problem around here.
Went on the magical rant I think all of us needed. So, does anybody else have a point they want to bring up? Go ahead, Moon Knight.
Spike. Like, I know we've said, like, he has to put up with this, he has to do everything, but dear, can just guy give the guy a break? He doesn't get a lunch because Twilight goes into the you know the the restaurant, and he has to be the waiter, and then he has to hold fire on that fortnight or whatever the freak that thing is with the fruits, and he gets just slapped up with fruit, and it's like, can you just give the guy a little break? It's kind of like with Gallus, like I think they're kind of being a little bit too harsh with him with all those stuff, but Spike is kind of being a little bit abused here. With also, he had to carry all that mail that was like stacked up.
Oh, do you mean the restaurant that Saffron works at? That fan favorite that everybody was really excited to see when they saw that restaurant and nobody saw her? Because why would we bring the fan favorites back? Nah, we'd rather bring that guy back. You know, that guy that was in that one episode with Rainbow Dash. That guy. Not Saffron, not Maniac, because we never found out what happened to that comic after it disappeared. Not Sunset Shimmer. Nah, we're going to bring that guy back. And anytime we go to an area that might have one of those fan favorites like Saffron, you ain't getting to see Saffron. We're going to make Spike do it just so that you don't see the fan favorite.
Now, if only you were just a teensy bit bitter.
Oh, you know what? That's another quick thing. You know how late in the episode where Spike he took out the abacus and he was like, Twilight was like, how much am I in late fees now? And he does all the abacus and he's like, yeah, you don't want to know. How is he calculating that when we were never given a frame of reference?
Like, you mean how is he doing it? Like the ability or like the fee?
Well, because when we went to the librarian the first time, we were never given a reference of like, oh, by the way, did you know that it costs 1 bit a day for every day that your book is late? We were never given a frame of reference for how much per day per bit the book was late for. So how is Spike doing all this abacus work? How is he calculating all that?
I think he's going off of what Twilight said compared to like how much time passes by each time Twilight says it. Because when they're in Mother's basement, she's like, I owe 17 more now. Okay, 17 more is a frame of reference. So every time this hour passes or 2 hours pass, I add 17.
Right, but 17 from what? 17 from 20? I mean, obviously we find out it's 28 at the end, but never mind. It was just a stupid observation. We can move on to Q&A.
I mean, it is kind of a plot hole. Like I would say, like it is a plot hole, but probably someone on the writing team is gonna say, "Well, Twilight's very smart, and she read a book about library fees, so that's how she knows, and she knows all the rules."
Yeah, in fact, it kind of would have made that final joke more funny if in the beginning she said something like, "Oh, by the way, dear, it costs about one bit per day that your book is late," and then at the end she reveals it's like, "Oh, it's only 28 bits," whereas Spike calculates like 28,000 bits or something like that. That would have made that ending joke actually funny, but since we had no frame of reference, it wasn't. Anyway, Q&A. Unless anyone else has anything to say.
Yeah. Slow your roll. Anybody else got anything they want to bring up about this episode?
Nope.
Nope. Really?
I mean, what else can we say? The plot's really simple. It's simple to just...
It's people! The Candlelight Library books are made of people!
I mean...
I'll make the thing then. How would you have made it more interesting?
Well, how would I have made it more interesting? One, I would have actually brought back some of the fan favorites that we have mentioned and had them physically helping Twilight locate this person. And then I would have made it where the map actually lights up and then goes, yeah, I don't know where she is. And then turns out the retirement home thing is actually outside of Equestria. It's like way off in the boonies and on another continent that they have to go to. And she went there to literally just be away from all the other ponies who weren't at this little commune because she wanted to get away from the library and away from anyone who knew her. Then Twilight's guilt complex would have been worth something. Somebody else want to go?
I would have personally just not included Dusty Pages. I would have gone for the basement of shame being the main area, like the children beneath the school, and it's like this weird Binding of Isaac style basement where the late fee thing is right down there in the depths. It's right on the bottom floor. So you just got to go through this magical, crazy basement of shame down to the caves, down to the depths, in order to just return your book because you are shamed. Because the way everybody was gasping, like, oh no, not the basement, not the there are things in that basement, Twilight. Some say that there are ponies still trapped there to this very day. They became the books. There's things down in that basement, Twilight. I pray for you.
Did you just pull like a page master from the 90s?
That would work. I wasn't even thinking of the page master, but yes, we could have made it the page master. We could have had the late book turn into a wizard and say, you go into book world.
I'm the wizard.
Does anybody else have a method that they would fix this with?
I probably would have, like I said, I would have just added the whole thing. Oh, ponies who know better than be in Twilight's head, so that it makes the new librarian look less like a jerk.
I think I would have made it a little bit more like the actual finding of Dusty Pages. It would have been like we know she's extreme. We know she's liking to live her life. So what if she was actually, I don't know, in the Aztec ruins or something that Daring Do explores, or so, a place a little bit more, like exciting or something, because she's now living the life and stuff. Like, I think that would have been that, but also make Twilight a little bit less. I know, like, Twilight can overreact over stuff, but I think even for her, this was a little bit like too much. Like, it's a book that is overdue. So what's on is on. Like, she can't use a time spell to override it. Actually, a time spell would have been actually more entertaining, but it's like it's already done. Like, she can't undo it. So she like, a good lesson also could be like, you have to live up to what you did, and you also have to make up for your mistakes and, well, live with them. That could have been a good lesson, but no, we have to teach kids to never be late on fees.
Anyone else want to take a crack at that before I get to the rest of the questions? No? Alright. So, question number 2. If you had to choose a superpower for fixing this episode, would it be time travel or teleportation?
Probably.
I would.
Sorry.
I would say teleportation, because if you try to do time travel, well, a lot of people have, with the exception of Endgame, have acknowledged that trying to go back in time to fix something, you're going to have a lot of problems.
I would also say teleportation because it's less bibbly wobbly, timey wimey, whatever. I know I said it.
I'd say neither. Just make, like, a spell or find a spell that can just find her to cut out all of the middle, like, the needless knocking on the doors. Just like, I summon the all-seeing eye and show me where she is.
I say just time travel, just because you could put like a whole bunch of reminders in Twilight's room before, in episode 1 in the flashback. It says return the book, and just splay them out all over the place.
Okay, Von Holtz, I don't mean to be rude, but Endgame has
That's
established
teleporting.
that spoilers are allowed after 2 weeks because they said we could start spoiling it on Monday. Therefore, it's been 2 weeks.
Teleporting.
This is also
so,
probably why it's a good thing we're 2 weeks behind, because now we can totally spoil the episode for everyone because we're 2 weeks behind.
Wait. You're saying I could have talked about the Quill Pants episode?
Nope, that episode's only a week old.
Okay.
So, in the meantime, next question. If there is one thing about the show you would change... We already went over that. Sorry, Ubel, we answered your question when we were debating. Mario Rockport wants to know, does Twilight still view herself as a regular unicorn?
I mean, like, she views herself as just, a unicorn or an alicorn. She knows she's a princess, but even if she thought she was this high royalty princess and like the savior of Equestria, basically, we've never seen anyone else treat her like royalty or like the savior or anything. We always go, like, even this random joke, like, it was just like, yeah, get out of my house. It's like, you have the princess in front of you. She could just, like, cast you into oblivion and you're just yelling at her. It's like, even if she does, like, the points around her don't.
I think she just sees herself as an alicorn and how far she's come. I mean, I can go back to Sparkle 7 where, she could have used the train to go up there, but no, she just flew all the way to Canterlot. Just some quick example.
All right. Next question is, in the past, wasn't Twilight's thing at the beginning of the entire show that she didn't need friends? Why is she friends with the librarian?
Because
For that matter, why is it that she's friends with Moondancer if she's neglectful of the term friendship?
Because Dusty Pages offered her books in a white unmarked van.
Well, I guess the Constitution rests.
Wow.
Now all I can imagine is like the white van with like 3 books written on the side and Dusty Pages just holding like
I know what
book out.
picture you're talking about. I saw that.
That's how they
No, because
That's how they induct you in the cult.
no, because I'm thinking like she's holding a book out to a little Twilight and Moondancer, but all I can hear for her voice is the child catcher from Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, where it's like, lollipops, come get your lollipops, books, Twilight, come get your books.
Oh dear God, we just associated librarians with being the creepy guy in the white van. All right. Arvana wants to know, I get the impression that Twilight can be willfully ignorant. I mean, I just watched the episode with Celestia's Phoenix. You're really Twilight, right? You work closely with the princess. How do you not know her pet's a Phoenix? What do you guys think? Is she willfully ignorant of things?
Well, Fluttershy didn't know anything about phoenixes either.
I mean, but I think it's more Fluttershy knows about animals, but not like mystical creatures and stuff. I guess like I've never seen. I don't think the phoenixes are on the Everfree. I think they're on another part of something. But then again, they have to hit the characters with the freaking dump stick so that they remember stuff. So it's just a mess at this point.
Well,
Yeah,
you go.
It's more writer's ignorance than Twilight being blissfully unaware, because if you've lived with Celestia for like 18 years and you've been her personal student, yeah, you would know she's got a phoenix, but oh, we forgot to write that, we just stupid stick.
Yeah, it's ever since the beginning we know that Twilight's anxiety prone, which is always hilarious. But at least that works in her character. She's always panicking. She plans like, okay, this is the worst thing that could happen. This is the worst thing that could happen. She puts out these scenarios right in front of her face, which is actually a good idea, because if you lay out all the problems, how you can avoid them. However, she always goes always overboard, which is fun. So yeah, willfully ignorant, whatever, it works for her. Next
Okay.
question.
So, this is a simple question. Do ponies even have elbows?
Do ponies have what?
Elbows.
They're somewhat anthropomorphic, so yeah, I guess.
Well, if not, then they might want to call. Then they might want to call a doctor because their hooves joints are loose.
They've all got knees.
Yeah.
There we go. They all got knees, no elbows. There we go.
Which technically, a knee could also be considered the elbow of a leg. It's a leg bow.
I don't know what you're on, but I want some of that. But I mean, it's a not to be unrealistic, but it's kind of a colored horses show. So look at Pinkie Pie. She doesn't have any bones apparently. Sometimes.
I mean, it's just the ball that makes the long bits bend.
Okay. Magical Starflash wants to know, do we think they'll ever use the table again?
Yeah, we kind of forgot about that. It's like, oh yeah, we have this huge table. We can put some dinner plates and some nice centerpiece on it. Yeah, we can use it like that.
I'm gonna make a prediction right now that it's gonna be used in the final episode, and when we go in the kids' castle, the student 6 have got a table in that castle.
I'm gonna say no, because they've kind of been ignoring some stuff that has happened in the past. Like, where's the box? They just got ditched. And now they kind of have the excuse that, well, the tree was connected to the map, so now the map is useless and only the castle of Twilight survived. I guess.
Now, I'm gonna tell you right now, when Grogar appears with his baddies, and it's like, oh no, super baddies, and Chrysalis is over there, and T-Rex over there, and Grogar's over there. How? Where? Oh look, the map is showing us where all the bad guys are. It works in reverse, or maybe the kids' table shows where the badness is happening. So now we can see where the bad guys are, and we can go stop them. I'm telling you, it's going to both tables, if there is a table in the kids' castle, both tables are going to be in the final episodes.
Okay.
I hope the kids table has a Switch. Nintendo's.
We have one final question. Since we were just introduced to the equestrian version of paintball using squishy fruit, what other sport would we like to see added to the show before the end?
Let's see. Football, hot potato.
We have that, don't we?
No, that's buckball. That's more of the equivalent of Quidditch.
I want to see dodgeball.
I want to see dodgeball with unicorn cannons and earth pony bucks.
No, it's better. But instead of dodgeballs, they use cinder blocks.
They use what?
Cinder blocks.
You're all so uncouth.
You all talked over each other. I didn't catch that.
Cinder blocks.
Cinder blocks.
Center blocks?
Dodgeball with cinder blocks, big old blocks of concrete, and they toss them at each other, and they gotta dodge them, or they gotta toss them back, and they gotta catch them, and you gotta try not to get cinder blocked in the face, because if you do, you get a bloody nose, and then you go sit on the bench, and you don't get chocolate milk afterwards.
You're
You want some
also
chocolate milk?
You're all so uncivilized. Why don't you want to see a proper British game like snooker.
Didn't I tell you crazy kids to stop making up words?
I was gonna say rugby because let's see police terms.
Rugby's more Scottish. That's for those big meaty dudes that'll just come charge you down and you're gonna die.
I just want to see
Anyway.
we had some they're competitive sports, but not like contact sports. But I guess they're not gonna do it because for the kids.
Hockey.
So anyway, Magical Starfish just point out that Cinder Blocks isn't that just Wanda Ball from Fairly Odd Parents, and now,
Yeah, that's right.
now
Nice reference.
our lovely and talented Spyro has threatened us with artwork.
You did this. So before I show it, I need to commune with Jasper.
Excuse me,
Yes.
what?
What?
I just need to ask Jasper a question. I need to have him prepared. Did you watch last week's podcast while you were away?
No.
Have you seen last week's picture?
I have not seen last week's picture.
Okay,
And
because
now
we
I'm
need
afraid to.
context.
Okay, well, just before I upload it for your context, please go to the art channel and just have a little bit of a scroll up so that you can.
Why is
see-
it a chicken? Why is Fiaura?
It doesn't matter why it's a chicken.
Apparently, I've been demoted to Luna's cock.
Why
That's a nice
is this the cock? Why is this? Why
That's
and
a
you
nice
and then he and then she and then why and then going for the slime man?
Okay, so now that you have full context, last episode, this is for all of you in the chat as well. Last episode was Twilight 7, and everybody loves the little thing at the end with Luna stroking the flamingo, and what a nice picture, what a nice little thing to reference. Spyro's got long arms, longer limbs, so he can be a big long-legged princess, but Celestia was not the bad one, it was Luna, but the bigger version of Luna's Nightmare Moon, but whatever. The point is, what a nice little reference. Doesn't it look good? And then all of you, green pony, white pony, orange pony, all of you had to be dirty. You were like, I don't know if I can upload this. This looks like Spyro is sticking his dick inside that chicken. All of you, it's a cock. All of you had to make it dirty. So you did this. I have no part in what you made me do.
Well, in that case, I blame every single one of you,
I blame you.
especially Master Code.
Okay.
Twice.
Okay. I accept responsibility. Oh God, why?
There's a zoom out. There's
That
a
is
zoom out.
even worse. What is this?
That's
You
a
did this.
sumo.
What did you do?
Wait, that's a sumo. There's more.
There's more.
There's more. It's a zoom out. Like you were like, let's take it out of context. It's a cock. We love stroking cock here. So we did exactly what you said.
I think
We
I'm gonna
made
have to
him-
remove the family-friendly tag for today.
We made him stroke cock.
It's loading. Wait.
And you read Fiaura, then mine. But you did that. You.
That is slightly better, but still marginally inappropriate. And
It's better. Hold on. Spirosis is better than laying an
No.
egg.
You read yours first. It's because you're over there, but it's you, then me. But you all
God,
did
the
that.
text is tiny to read.
You have to
I
zoom in,
hate
sorry.
we egged you to make this even more out of context, but I hate even more that I'm enjoying this. The soft feathers. What the fuck?
Man,
I know.
I'm
I
stroking off
don't
too.
want to listen words anymore.
I don't.
Yes.
What is life?
Well, I have always wanted to stroke two cocks off at once.
Oh my god!
Not
Good
helping!
night, everybody.
Not helping!
You evil, evil little dragon.
Don't blame me. They were the one taking the lunar picture out of context, constantly saying cock and how you can't see Fiora's other leg. So
You know, I was wondering
clearly,
when we were going to get more stained glass windows. I never expected to get this.
well, the next stained glass window is coming. It's actually a two-parter of Aeon. There's a good Aeon and an evil Aeon. I know he's just a guest, but I had the perfect pose. But, you know, you were like, oh, I can't see Fiaura. I can't see Sunrise's other leg. That must mean that her legs are clearly spread. I can't see it. I think there's some cock involved. I love cock. You did that. You all did that. I take no part in what you took out of context.
I love stroking cocks.
You want to throw one?
Why did I come back? Why didn't
Why-
I just stay in solitude?
Yeah, why did you come back? Good night, everybody.
I get the joke.
Just so you know, I'm still. Just so you know, my eye is now twitching. That's 80 miles an hour. I'm pretty sure I should probably go to a hospital.
But you love it, really. You love interacting with us all.
Are you gonna run to the hospital?
All
Or fly
right,
to the
so,
hospital?
ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to bring this a little bit back to earth here. It'll be 2 weeks before our next episode, guys, because Everfree is next week, and I'm going to be there, and I don't know how many others of us are going to be there. But after that, we will be bringing on some special guests, one per week, to add to the episode, to kind of give a different outside perspective as well as our own. And that next week is the episode that we keep hearing all about with Pat and Oswald, Common Ground. So, you all see where this is going. We'll see you all in 2 weeks. But in the meantime, everybody, if you would like to give your outros, starting with Golden Fox, because this is an odd number episode, we start at the top. What are you up to, Golden Fox? What do you got planned for the future?
Well, okay, I'll tell you this much. I recently finished one of my MLP reviews being me tackling on the official shorts, only the first half. I'm going to be tackling on the second half. Along with that, I am doing what is something I haven't done in a while, and that is a countdown. And it's my favorite Brony rock songs. So I hope to see that hopefully this coming Friday, if not next Friday. I'm not going to say too much about any future MLP reviews. Something else I haven't done in a while, and that's doing highlight reels from all the Let's Plays that I've done. So be on the lookout for that. And I still have my secondary channel with, Let's Plays uploaded mostly on a daily basis. So you can definitely check that out. And check out my Twitch where I stream the actual games every altered Thursday or Friday, where I continue Pokemon, and eventually I'm going to do Metroid. So yeah, this is me. This is Golden Fox, and I hope you guys enjoyed this shorter podcast than usual. It's a little humor and so on and so forth. Insane Pyro, go ahead. I am overstaying my welcome.
But I am Insane Spyro, one of your two cocks of the podcast. And I recently finished the streaming of Yoshi's Crafted World, barring the last two boss challenges with Kamek, because he's a dick when he does that attack. But after that, we are probably going to start a new stream of something, I don't know yet, as well as the Yoshi's Crafted World review that's going up on YouTube, and some other stuff that I'll also put up on YouTube. And I'll see all of you in 2 weeks, where I'm sure I will make all of them exceptionally happy once again.
I really hope you have some non-insane artwork next week. Jasper!
The people. But in all seriousness, thank y'all for coming out tonight. After this, I shall be getting back to work on my comic reaction to today's new episode, which I will not talk about because spoilers. And then, as usual, I'll be doing more writing, more audio editing for TF2. Speaking of, stay tuned for the upcoming episodes. It's gonna be chaotic! and just the usual comics Jasper stuff going on. Master Code, if you please.
Thank you all for joining us. This has been your super awesome Ace Analyst Master Code. In terms of things going on, just today I posted another Let's Play of Borderlands. Speaking of which, I need to record some more stuff for that. But anyway, I got that going on. Me and Will's collab on the 200th episode. That's coming along quite well. I'm hoping that'll come across, released next weekend sometime. Other than that, just writing scripts and going up from there to Moon Knight.
Burp. Well, Moon Knight, I haven't been really active on my channel, but yeah, because life stuff and stuff. But I'm gonna be uploading probably a cover or two around this week or next week. I want to do a little bit of lightning round on some of the episodes, but maybe I'll just put a couple on like a double feature like I did a while ago. Maybe review 2 episodes, not too many episodes in one go, because yeah, it's going to be a little bit of clustered around. But yeah, I have my YouTube channel. I have my Twitter where I usually go around and do silly stuff, and yeah, you can follow me there. So on to Fiaura.
Well, I have a few things going on. First off, what time is it? In 3.5 hours, I'm going to start a drunk writing stream. I do this every week on Saturday night. You guys are allowed to come and hang out with me on my Discord server, ask questions, make me tell stories, and proceed to get me intoxicated while I try to write a story. Furthermore, on Monday night at midnight until Tuesday evening at 7 p.m., I am running a birthday marathon stream. Not just for myself, but there is also one of my longest term friends. His birthday was this past week, and so we're going to celebrate our birthday together on stream for almost 24 hours. In addition to this, there is the Dead Tree draft version that is on FemFiction. If it hits 300 upvotes, I have been tasked with opening a contest. We're only 29 away, and when I started this little rumor, we were at like 220, so now we're at 271. So as soon as it hits 300, I will be opening a contest with both actual prize work, with actual physical prizes, as well as changes to the episode. And yes, Hetty, you have words that are not nice words, other than the fact that I have to wish you a happy, happy birthday. In the meantime, that's everything that I am doing, and I guess that kind of finishes up. Who wants, anybody have any final words they want to say before we close out?
I've got one question.
For different folks.
Sure, Insane.
When you say we're coming back in 2 weeks with a guest, do we know who that guest is?
That's part of the fun. No, I haven't. I have a list, but I have a list, but I haven't started scheduling them yet.
Nicolas Cage?
You'll have to let me know at least maybe a week before.
You'll know before I go to Everfree this weekend.
Nice. We can't leave them out on the fun. Also, that was one other thing that I forgot to mention. Recently, I managed to get like 50 followers or whatever it is on Twitch, so I can enable bits. Yay!
Woo!
Yo!
Good night, everybody.
Live long and propane.
Don't forget to drop your cups tonight.
Good night, folks.
Anybody want dick?